It's lower than here, yes. That is the major disadvantage. And this is part of the problem. This is part of the reason why Ewell did not attack on the evening of July 1st. He had no artillery platform to support his infantry. So those Confederate guns are going to open fire, and it's not going to be long before the hilltop responded. The Union 1st and 11th Artillery Corps pieces, guns from the artillery reserve. Even during this 90-minute exchange of artillery, John Gary of the Union 12th Corps is able to get a few guns near the tower where Pope's Hill is, and they engage in this barrage. Now, one Union soldier about 5 o'clock that evening on July 2nd wrote, "The shots came thick and fast, bursting, crushing, and plowing. It was a mighty storm of iron hail, a most determined and terrible effort of the enemy to cripple and destroy the guns on the hill." Pretty soon, Benner's Hill, as one Confederate wrote, would become a hell infernal. Joseph Latimer, his artillery is going to sustain tremendous damage. Limbers, horses are going to be struck. And about 90 minutes after he began his barrage, he is going to go to his division commander, Johnson, and request that they put an end to this exchange. Johnson is going to agree, but as Latimer began to observe the retreat of his men as they began to leave that high ground, he was struck down with a mortal wound. Union 11th Corps artillerists would summarize the effect of this barrage. No impression was made on our artillery beyond the loss of a very few men killed or wounded. A few horses were killed and a caisson or two exploded. The batteries were in no way crippled or the men demoralized. On the other hand, the Confederates, that battalion, lost 51 men killed and wounded, 30 horses were killed, and of course among the slain would be Latimer. Didn't have the intended effect. It didn't have the intended effect, but even so, Ewell was determined to attack. And here was his plan. He is going to lead an attack with all three of his divisions. Edward Johnson would step out from behind Benner's Hill with his 6,400 troops, and he would make his way up the slopes of Pope's Hill. Okay, and as Johnson attacked Pope's Hill, Jubal Early would make his way from east of town and attack up these slopes right here to your left. Sweep up over East Cemetery Hill. And as Early is attacking East Cemetery Hill, Robert Rhodes' division was to sidestep out of town and attack West Cemetery Hill, where the National Cemetery is today. So Ewell wants to involve all three of his divisions in attacking the Union right flank. Just a little bit, about 8 o'clock that evening, perhaps a little bit earlier, is when Johnson's attack is going to commence. Now, because there's no cavalry on the far Union or Confederate flank, Johnson was forced to keep behind 1,300 men of his Stonewall Brigade. So one of Johnson's brigades are going to be detached, and they will not participate in this assault. He will thus go forward with about 5,000 men, and there's a Union soldier on Pope's Hill who remembered looking out, and he saw a Confederate officer and staff riding along the front line of Johnson's men. And he must have made some remarks to the men, as I distinctly saw a flutter of battle flags and hats waving in the air. But they were too far away to hear those words. Then the whole mass moved out with their arms at right shoulder shift, their movement in perfect alignment. Here's something that Ewell and Johnson and all those Confederates do not know. When they stepped out to attack, Pope's Hill had already been almost stripped of all its troops. Longstreet's attack was intense. Longstreet would move forward with more than 20,000 men attacking the Union left. And you know the name of Dan Sickles, right?
Oh, yeah.
When Sickles advanced, he is going to put the entire left, the entire army in jeopardy. So to deal with that threat, George Meade is essentially going to strip the rest of his line to send troops to the south. Already his reserve corps, the 5th Corps, had been sent to the south. Already one of Hancock's 2nd Corps divisions had been sent to the south. And about 6 o'clock, there's really no activity up here beyond this shelling, this cannonade. He is going to turn to Henry Slocum, whose men held Pope's Hill, and he's going to say, "Send your men to the left." Not all of my men, I hope. And Meade is saying, just about every one of your men. So of the 6 brigades of the 12th Corps, 5 of them will leave Pope's Hill and make their way to the south.